John chapter 12 and Proverbs chapter 3. In John chapter 12, it's the only place in the Gospels where we get a little insight into how much the other disciples were not fooled by Judas Iscariot. I want to read in John chapter 12, verses 4 to 6. It says, "But one of the disciples, Judas Iscariot, who was later to betray him, objected. 'Why wasn't this perfume sold and the money given to the poor? It was worth a year's wages.'" Verse 6 is the key one. Remember, John wrote this gospel, so John knew this. He said he did not say this because he cared about the poor, but because he was a thief. As a keeper of the money bag, he used to help himself. And if you have a Bible, in the NIV, it says used to help himself. In the Greek, the version there, you could add the word regularly. In fact, in the New Living Translation, it says he often stole some for himself. So the Greek there is the tense means he continually or regularly helped himself to what was put into it. So we think people don't see what we're doing. We think that we're getting away with things, and everybody who is doing evil thinks that they are more hidden than they are. So I don't know if all the disciples saw or if John was the only one who saw, but that's actually the imperfect tense, which means habitual. But John had watched Judas more than once. John seen, again, this guy is habitually, perfect tense, regularly, and John knew this guy is a thief. And so the point is, we don't get away with near as much as we think we do, and Judas was not fooling everybody. He was mostly fooling himself. Now let's go over to Proverbs chapter 3 and verses 21 through 24. Proverbs chapter 3, let me just read it to you. Proverbs chapter 3 is one of my memory chapters, and I've quoted it hundreds, maybe thousands of times, and that's why it's kind of interesting to me that I quote it so many times, but never really grasped what I was quoting until I'd done it a couple hundred times. Proverbs 21, chapter 3, verse 21 says, "My son, preserve sound judgment and discernment. Do not let them out of your sight." Notice that's the starting place. Sound judgment and discernment. They will be life for you, an ornament to grace your neck. Then, connecting sound judgment and discernment, you will go on your way in safety and your foot will not stumble. Verse 24, "When you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet." So I have hundreds of times quoted Proverbs 3:24, "When you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet." And one time after maybe 10 years or so, the Lord said to me, "Well, that verse is not by itself." And I began to realize, okay, this is a verse that says that you have wisdom and trust. So you lay down, "Lord, I trust you to give me sweet sleep," but I've also used discernment, and I've built safety into my life. The doors are locked, and I've checked on my kids, and everything is calm. And so there's the two legs of wisdom and trust. And so when you use discernment, when you go back to verse 21 and you say, "Preserve sound judgment and discernment," one of the reasons that we sleep well is one of my favorite verses in the Bible of spiritual warfare is Ephesians 6, it says, "Having done all, stand." So we do all we know to do. We use sound judgment and discernment, protect our families as best we can. Then we lay down and say, "Now, Lord, I trust you for the rest." And that actually helped me to sleep better. It's a combination of wisdom and trust. Hope that helps you. Hope you're sleeping well. Hope you're full of the Word of God today, and the Lord is blessing every area of your life. God bless you so much.